Yo. What is up, everybody? Buddy. And welcome back to another Marvel Snap video. So today, guys, as you can see, we have some brand new patch notes within Marvel Snap. Of course, if you guys haven't updated your game, please make sure to do so because some of the stuff within this update is pretty cool. Now, just like the last update video, we'll be going over almost everything within the patch notes, unless it's like super boring, not necessary. But yeah, guys, let's just hop right into it. So of course, starting off with the general, they just give us an inbox tab, which is a nice little thing. A welcome bundle. If you head to the shop, you will see a welcome bundle with a Captain America variant, a variant avatar, and 700 gold. And it is noted that it can only be purchased once, and I will show you guys that right now. So here is the welcome bundle. As you guys can see, 700 gold, the new avatar, and the variant for Captain America, which does look pretty cool. Might end up picking that up myself. I mean, it's a pretty cool variant. Pretty sure you can't get it anywhere else other than the bundle. Let's hop right back into the patch notes. So back with the patch notes, default FPS is now 30. But if you want, you can change it to 60. Personally, I do like it at 60, but 30 does offer that nice little balance between fluidity and battery life like they state. This is something cool that they added, a variant rarity system, So 75% of existing variants are now labelled as rare, and I've had that cost reduced in the shop from 750 to 700 gold. Other variants will become super rare and will now only be available in daily off the shop for 1200 gold. So I really do need to go through my variants, see what's super rare or rare. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool that they added kind of like a rarity system, because that does explain why you see some more than others. And also on top of that, 75 plus new rare variants and 25 plus super rare variants added to the game. So that's always pretty cool. Of course, they have language localizations for these languages. You guys can pause and read if you do want to check those out. So that's pretty cool. Same with the voiceovers as well in different languages. And VFX boosters are now color coded, which I did end up seeing after I played a match, which is pretty interesting. And they just say many more elements are polished and adjusted, so basically just the quality of life is improved. Now over to the balance updates for the cards. Some of these are interesting and I'll go through it with you guys. So Bishop has been nerfed from a 3 cost 2 power to a 3 cost 1 power. And what they say is that Bishop does see a lot of play in a variety of decks and it's just a good card to use in general. They're hoping that by nerfing him, it allows players to use a bit more cards, which I guess that's fair. Magic is a pretty big nerf. Basically what they added is that you can't play her on turn 6. And what they say is that playing Magic unexpectedly extends the game by a final turn, and is a very powerful and game warping effect. So they added the restriction that kind of nerf her a little bit, so you can't play her on turn 6 to extend the game. Have to play her on turn 5 or before to get that turn 7. Mr. Negative, I'm surprised they ended up nerfing him again from a 4 cost 1 power to a 4 cost -1. And what they say is that alongside the Magic nerf, it'll also have a big impact on Mr. Negative, and they also wanted to take a bit more power away. So I guess he's trying to keep nerfing Mr. Negative decks with Magic and Sarah. I am kind of interested in Magic and Mr. Negative's nerfs to see if these decks are any less good, any less meta. Because that should be pretty interesting. I mean, the fact that they made him a -1's kind of nuts. Tanakia. Basically, they changed her on reveal to give the 2 leftmost cards in your hand +2. So before believe they ended up changing his power. So I believe before he may have been a higher power card. Not too sure, never really used Ronan a whole lot, because personally I don't even have him in my collection. So maybe you guys can let me know down in the comments what Ronan was before this nerf. But what they say is that his ability is very powerful at higher values, so they're kind of reeling in the cap a bit to prevent it from getting too crazy and too big. So I don't know if that means they capped his power. Maybe they did. I don't know. It should be interesting. Goose is a 2 cost, 2 power, and is ongoing as nobody can play 4, 5, or 6 costs at this location. Don't really understand what they did with Goose. I think maybe they ended up buffing his power, but I don't know. They don't have any comments, which is weird. But now we have text-only updates for these specific cards, I assume to kind of make their ability much more easier to understand, especially since we are getting close to the global launch. Now we have some location updates, and what they say about this is that they have a number of updates to abilities that enact play restrictions and make them check the adjusted cost of cards in hand rather than their original base cost. For example, if your Sentinel costs 4 due to wave, you can only play it at the Crimson Cosmos. So speaking of the Crimson Cosmos, this old was 1, 2, and 3 can't be played here. Its new one is cards that cost 1, 2, or 3 can't be played here. So like they said, they just reworded the wording. So, if your Sentinel costs 4, you can play it at the Crimson Cosmos, but if not, if it stays at a base of 2, you can't play it there because it costs 2 power. So it's kind of interesting that they changed that. Same with the Hellfire Club. It's old, 1 cost cards can't be played here. It's new, cards that cost 1 can't be played here. Same with the Big House, 4, 5, 6. It's new, is 4, 5, or 6 can't be played here. So they just reworded these locations that are card cost restricted. So should be interesting to see if those locations fare better in certain games. Now they have bug fixes, which is just quality of life things. Fixed an issue where deck select the battle pass ranked awards and the UI would just disappear when switching tabs. Fixed an issue where the game would not launch properly if your device was set to an unsupported locale. Fixed the gold section that would sometimes go missing. Updated Agatha post-game dialogue. If you have all possible mod combinations for a card, the option to Infinity Split is no longer present. So I assume that means you can't just keep getting more and more of the same card. Made several updates to the carousel to make it easier to slide between pages. All of these are just really nice quality of life updates. I'm kind of just like going through it very, very quickly. Fixed an issue with the audio. Fixed an issue where the previous fast card upgrade remained on the screen. Clicking variants in the daily shop would no longer cause the focus card text to overlap. Added avatar art for several avatars and readjusted some avatars that weren't centered. Graven's ability still activates even if the card that was moved is destroyed. A mini version of the game board no longer shows at the end of matches. Quickly pressing play multiple times no longer brings up multiple matchmaking. I mean, there's a lot of quality of life updates. Of course, like I said, this is in preparation for the global launch in like 2 weeks. And also, as I'm scrolling through these updates and like patch notes and whatnot, you guys can feel free to pause, read over them if you want. Because, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of just browsing through it with my eyes. None of them really stick out, and I'm not going to read all of them. So if you guys do want to pause the video and kind of go over the bug fixes and whatnot, you guys can feel free to do so. Of course, they have known issues that I assume they're working to fix. I'm kind of just doing the same thing as before, kind of just scrolling over them with my eyes, not really reading anything out because you guys can just pause the video and read it if you really do want. But I mean, there's a lot of things within this update. I mean, it's not as big as the last update in terms of cards, buffs, or nerfs, but I mean, yeah, there's still a lot of different things. But I mean, yeah, guys, that was the brand new update within Marvel Snap. Doesn't really seem like a whole lot got changed, other than Magic and Mr. Negative got heavily nerfed. So I am excited to see how those cards play now. See if